What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Savvy, and welcome back to the Savvy Show. And today the Rubber has just dropped a new SCP animation, and I have a feeling this one is going to be a little bit different than the ones that we covered, and I'll talk about it in a little bit. This SCP is SCP-582, a bundle of stories. So I'm assuming it might be a unique SCP where it's just urban legends or some sort of, whatever, all mixed with one SCP. Out of the box, like, if it was me, I would assume, like, this SCP might have different stories for different dimensions and, like, different variations of the SCP because it's a bundle of stories within one entity, So it's kind of hard to explain. I hope you guys understand what I was, like, trying to, like, put down. But we shall see what this SCP is all about today. So if you guys are excited to dive deep with me, please remember to smash that like button. It takes less than a second and it'll mean the world, and it's 100% free. And also remember, if you haven't hit that red button on the bottom of the screen and you watch multiple of my videos and you just haven't, made that jump yet, this is the time to do so. Like every video, before we go balls deep, we make stops. We make pit stops. This is one of them. The time to do so. It's going to be a fun place, man. I make reaction content daily for you guys, so you'll never be bored on this channel. And I'm telling you, if you like my reaction style, you like SCPs, it's going to be the best place to be to get that dose of heat. So that's all I have to say. So just keep that in mind. We keep it pushing, all gas, no brakes, so you might as well hop in now before you get left in the dust. So with all out the way, I got nothing left to say. Let's get this show started. Alrighty, SCP-582, a bundle of stories. I'm really excited to see what they're going to do with this.
Viewer discretion is advised. The muck had completely covered the man's form and extended 2 additional limbs as it crashed forward. The roar of the cheering people was absolutely deafening. He watched as the creature bashed his men and enveloped their corpses with its filthy slime. Hello, everybody. I'm the Rubber. Today, we bring you SCP Foundation Keter Class Object SCP-5 Stories is an adaptive, self-propagating meme. Its primary ability is passive reality modification. Any fictional account written about 582 will become a factual record of a manifestation of the entity, in which 582 will carry out all actions attributed to it in the narrative.
Bro, I don't know, like, I have a good sense of what these might be. Like, I figured it won't be just one, being, and it's just called Bundle of Stories, and it's just one creature. Like, literally, it's literally stories, and it manifests into the actual story, and it does whatever the narrator of the story, tells it to do. So far, it seems that way. Bro, this is going to be really cool.
These manifestations can take place at any time and place when specified.
Wow.
If no specific location or time is given, the manifestation will occur at any opportunity that will meet the narrative's criteria. 582's actual abilities within narrative are generally nebulous and lacking in detail. The most common format of a story involves the aftermath of its manifestation, or a short-lived encounter, rather than an explanation or justification of the events.
Oh.
What is known is that 582 regularly appears capable of appearing or disappearing at any place or time.
Is he supposed to be like a Slender Man? I mean, that's the vibes I'm getting, to be honest. The tentacles are kind of off, but reminds me of Slender Man. Is Slender Man a meme? That's a creepypasta. Those are the same things.
And that no method of terminating or otherwise harming 582 within any narrative.
Wow, they really try to throw boba at him. The SCP Foundation tried to throw boba at a... Y'all getting funded way too much money to be throwing boba at an SCP. Let's just keep it going before I go crazy.
Been successful. 582's portrayal as a godlike entity has led to a collection of commonly featured avatars.
Ooh.
Here's a list of notable manifestations of 582.
What?
Manifestation Alpha. This is the most common instance of 582. Alpha is a humanoid creature standing approximately 2 meters tall and wearing thickly layered robes, often compared to burlap. The figure is hooded and no face is visible underneath. Common additional details include carrying sacks or bundles of unknown contents, in addition to the appearance of heavy bleeding. Manifestation Alpha is the least dangerous of its manifestations, with death occurring in only 23% of instances.
Oh.
Manifestation Beta a hexapodal entity appearing to be made
Whoa.
out of molten tar.
What the heck?
Manifestation Beta will attempt to attack any nearby humans unprotected by certain preventative
Damn,
measures.
looks like he's eating him.
Manifestation Beta has appeared at the same time as Manifestation Alpha on 5 occasions, seemingly using Manifestation Alpha as a host or
Fusion.
disguise. Manifestation
Oh my god.
Gamma.
Okay, one, I just gotta get this clear. Are they using this book to write these stories, or could you just write it anywhere? Or is the SCP part of this book? Is it like SCP-582-1, and that's the -1, the book itself, to write the stories? Because it doesn't make sense. Like, where are you writing these stories? Like, where is the narrator getting, the pages to bring these pages to fruition? Like, you know what I'm saying? So maybe it's just the animation they're using, the book itself, but maybe there's like a method to the madness. Hopefully.
Appears as a 100-meter wide plant-like entity, giving off an intense white light.
Let me rewind a little bit, guys.
Or disguise. Manifestation Gamma appears as a 100-meter wide plant-like entity, giving off an intense white light and substantial radiation.
Looks holy.
The strength of the radiation is unmeasured, but it is enough to be fatal to humans within 6 to 10 hours.
Damn.
Manifestation Gamma does not appear to take notice of any outside stimuli, and on one occasion has been observed growing out of or feeding off of Manifestation Beta.
What?
Manifestation Delta. This is the manifestation in containment within the Foundation. Delta appears as a poorly defined humanoid shadow. Due to the nature of its containment narrative, Manifestation Delta is incapable of exiting its containment module or interacting with personnel.
Wait, did they say this is the one they have captured? Hold up. Oh my god. So they could capture more than... Wait, let's just rewind it real quick.
Manifestation Delta. This is the manifestation in containment within the Foundation.
In containment! So I'm assuming there's more than one story at a time then. They probably didn't capture. So these stories could like overlap, or you could have more, that story's over, and the next one will be, take its place. But it seems like you could just write infinite stories and they could just all come out of nowhere. What the heck?
Delta appeared. Manifestation Delta is incapable of exiting its containment module or interacting with personnel.
Because of the narrative.
Manifestation Zeta exists within more than 3 Station Zeta has only been encountered once in 2010, resulting in 300 many manifestations of 582. However, its origin may be traced to an obscure American author active during the 1940s and 50s.
Okay.
The original works containing 582 were never published, but were discovered by several close friends and fellow amateur writers upon the author's death in 1957, who then served as the original infection vector.
Huh?
Below
what
is
is
the
that?
encounter of the author with SCP-582. Roger Legrand crumpled up the 5th text-filled sheet and rocketed it towards the wastebasket. Why can't I write today? He bent over his desk and ran his fingers through his hair, resting his elbow on top of dozens of discarded brainstorming sheets covered with half-formed ideas.
Okay.
What's happening to me? Damn it, I just want to write how I used to. And then, the great Dam Ragravi, the master of language I just pulled out of nowhere, appeared to Roger and struck him with awe and inspiration. He became his muse, his inspiration, his path to better things in this pitiful existence of frustration. Ah! He ripped the sheet to shreds and tossed it over his shoulder before folding his arms and laying his head down on his desk. That something was watching him.
What is...
Slowly, he turned to look behind him. A tall man-like figure stood there, with a featureless face visible under its hood, and dressed in several heavy layers of a coarse brown fabric. It said nothing. It simply stood there with its head angled down towards Roger.
Okay, this is a lot to take in, so... I'm assuming Roger isn't the SCP. However, he had the power to somehow conjure the SCP. But how could that be the case if Roger was the one that created this being? Which would make him the SCP. Or part of it. Like, that's where my head's at right now. Oh, shit. Okay, damn, this is really hard. I'm assuming this dude that just came out of nowhere is maybe, inspire Roger to make more stories, to like make himself stronger. But the one part I don't get is how was Roger able to conjure him if that is the case? That is what I'm confused. I'm really confused, but that's what I'm gathering so far. It's a lot to take in. It is not like really coming together at this moment.
Who the hell are you? The figure remained silent. How did you get in here? Still silent, the being in front of him raised a single finger, with no fingernail to be seen, and pointed at the scraps Roger had just torn up.
Okay.
Unsure of what the figure meant with this gesture, he continued to stare at pieces of paper out of the trash and returned them to Roger's desk, smoothing them out and pointing at several key words and phrases previously deemed by the man to be bad ideas. He walked over and watched the creature. A god of books. A tale of a family. Something that will change the world.
God of books.
He looked up at the hooded thing, which had picked up the torn scraps and replaced them on the surface in front of Roger. And so he understood. He had found a being that could be manifested when written about. It was something that could literally change the world.
He found a being, so he wasn't one that... What? Okay, let's keep going.
He became inspired and empowered by this discovery and began frantically. He now knew as Regravi disappear, but he knew that he'd meet it again. As he fell deeper and deeper into a writing frenzy, he came to many realizations, many stopped thoughts, and many epiphanies about the thing he had found. This was something that deserved respect. This was something that deserved praise. This was something that Roger was born to do.
Wow.
And so the first scribe of Regravi came into existence. It wasn't hard to find people to join in the belief.
Okay, this is interesting. Now I'm getting the bigger picture of it. I'm assuming that entity is part of the SCP-582 in just some variation of his forms, because he has many forms, but I'm assuming that might be one of his main forms because he was faceless. And it's kind of similar to, like Death Note, where like there's a Shinigami. If you guys seen Death Note, it's like an anime. It's when like a Shinigami gives someone a power to do something, which is like the Death Note, to write names and, kill people. And then that power wasn't originated from the person. It was originated from the Shinigami. But he bestowed that power, and he's just, watching it, do his business. And then when something happens to the, the person that has the power, which would be Roger in this aspect, he might come in, take the power away from him, and then give it to another chosen candidate so he could continue, these stories. Maybe the stories fuel him somehow. And that's why I think that's his motives on to, passing this along to people that might be, the right vessel for the power, which is kind of cool. I hope that's the case.
After all, it was a religion based on a figure whose existence and power could be proven at literally any time. First came Roger's close friends, then their friends, until they numbered about 50 people.
Damn.
But soon enough, a wolf came to tear the believers asunder. They filed into the warehouse silently. But even so, their black tactical clothing made them distinctly noticeable among the sea of brown
They're
robes.
goofy. You know damn well they're going to be wearing brown robes. You really want to come in with SCP gear and act like you're not going to be like sussed out? Yo, these SCP Foundation man be cracking me up.
Laughter and talking transformed into silence in the space within just a few seconds.
Oh.
The screaming began when the agents drew their guns and began yelling and cornering them. The figure's hood fell to the floor, severed from the rest of his outfit.
Damn! They really blasted him!
A faceless head with large, bloody holes scattered across the surface.
Holy shit!
Several of the hooded figures shouted in surprise
they didn't even ask any
at the
questions.
appearance of the entity, which simply stood tall and silent. The blood began flowing more freely and turning darker and thicker with each passing second.
Uh-oh, the spider, dude?
Jerome, kill it, and kill them quickly.
Kill quickly.
Burn the building down if you must. The man on his side nodded and sprinted off as Jacob once again lifted the cone, shouting at the crowd with the tall, dirty figure remaining steadfastly erect in the center.
Still not even doing anything.
Instantly, the faceless man seemed to shift to the front of the crowd, with his arms and legs outstretched like a star. Each blast shredded its already rough outfit, punching red holes all across its form.
Damn.
Agents were now openly firing at the crowd, But the being seemed to catch each and every bullet with its own, and bubbling black liquid began seeping out.
This dude's definitely some version of a god. Has to be. Has to be. This is crazy.
No. No. Jacob attempted to shout once more, but could muster nothing more than a rasp. Not yet. I can't be finished yet. He threw the object in his hand.
Why are you chillaxing now?
Useless relic. God help me. God help me. He glanced up at the scene.
Oh my god. How are you going to be like useless relic and then pray to it and say, God help me? Damn, you do it the wrong way. Like, you should pray first, and then if he doesn't come, then say useless. This boy got it all jumbled up.
Muck had completely covered the man's form
and
extended 2 additional limbs as it crashed forward.
Yo.
The roar of the cheering people was absolutely deafening.
Holy shit.
He watched as the creature bashed his men and enveloped their corpses with its filthy slime.
Damn.
I'm not ready yet. I have so much left to accomplish.
Do you?
I can't die here. Not now.
Bye-bye.
He was still reaching for his pistol when the creature's front leg slammed through his chest. The last glimpse of the mortal world Jacob Hunt experienced was utter blackness, surrounded by the cacophony of defeat. Remember to check out...
Damn, that was heavy! That was heavy, guys! Oh my goodness. My man's Jacob. You shouldn't be coming guns living anytime soon. So with that being said, that ends the reaction. And this was a great one, guys. This was a good one. I figured it would be something along the lines of multiple, variations of one being in one entity. And it is what it seems to be the case. And personally, I think it's God level. I think it's some kind of God, some kind of mystical being. For it to just come out of nowhere, like, bless his power into, like, random individuals, which he did to Roger. Maybe Roger was, like, special some way, somehow. It wasn't covered, but let me know in the comment section below if you guys, see things differently, or you guys, read the whole story and you like to enlighten me. Feel free to do that in the comment section below. Shout out of it, especially when I heard meme. I'm like, God damn it, this is going to be another one. Like, oh, come on. But it was good, guys. It was really good. I want to know more about this a lot. So let me know in the comment section below. And remember, smash that like button if you enjoyed the reaction. And also smash the sub button if you're not already part of the family already. You made it this far to the end. There's no reason not to sub. I'm telling you right now, there's zero reason not to sub. You guys made it all the way to the end. Smash this button before you leave. And don't play with the kid, man. Come on, man. Join the family and have a great time with us. So with that being said, unfortunately, the show has officially ended. However, I'll catch you guys on the next one. With